and welcome to Provo, Utah on a spectacular evening for college football. One of the most scenic areas of the country, and beautiful weather tonight for Cal and BYU. Two teams on an uptick, undefeated for week 2 inside of Lavelle Edwards Stadium. Kickoff is headed your way right now. Beautiful conditions tonight, temperatures in the 80s, no threat of rain. In fact, 77 to kick things off for week 2. What a wild day it's been in college football. And we'll tell you more about that as we go through. Justin Wilcox, year 2 at Berkeley. 6 and 7, the former Oregon defensive back.
Number 80 for Cal.
And Kalani Sitake, year 3. Interesting conversations were had this week between this BYU coaching staff and our ESPN crew. We'll tell you more about that as we go through. Cal won the coin toss and has deferred. It'll be Chris Landry to kick things off. What a great environment and exactly what you would expect after BYU upset Arizona on the road last week.
Great environment, beautiful night, natural grass field. It's time to kick it off, play a little ball.
Levahifo, Matt Hadley back deep to receive. And Hifo will watch it sail over his head. It'll pop out to the 25. It'll be 1st and 10 for BYU. And our first look at Tanner Mangum. We asked him about his legacy, and he said, guys, it's too early to talk about that. We've got a game to play tonight. But you know how important this is going to be in facing a team from the Pac-12, Tom. He wants to get off to a better start than he did a week ago.
Well, they did struggle early, Roy, and I think it is imperative for them to come out, make a couple first downs, get the chains going. But they face an awfully tough Cal defensive front, and you're going to see 4 defensive linemen tonight of Cal, and Tevin Paul gets the start at one defensive end.
Cal will try to go jumbo to match the size of the Cougars. Straight ahead goes Canada, and a pickup of 3 on first down. Well, you love the early chess matches. California, without the services of Cameron Good tonight, their versatile linebacker has chosen to add some beef up front to face off against this very physical Cougars club.
Yeah, that is a great point. Cameron Good out, number 19. And, of course, he had an interception and a pick 6 last week against North Carolina. But number 96, Tevin Paul, who was on that first tackle, he comes in and gets the start at defensive end.
Jumbo look for the Cougars on 2nd and 7 as Mangum flings it complete. 2 yards short of the first down. Ganashik brought down the receiver. That was Lulu Pututau, his first catch of the night after grabbing 3 a week ago. Now with tempo, Canada straight ahead. Needed to get to the 35, and Tom, that one's going to be close.
Yeah, they may have to measure on this. It was awfully close. They're going to go ahead, give him the first down. It was nice, good use of no huddle right there, partner, where BYU just went ahead up tempo, no huddle, got the ball to Canada. He gets ahead, just a few inches ahead for the first down.
BYU is being sent off for improper knee pads.
And the referees this year, the lead official tonight, Reggie Smith, a Big 12 crew, have been instructed, especially in the early part of the season, to make sure all equipment functioning properly, especially with the knee pads completely covering the knee. And if not, that can result in a warning and a penalty as Mangum calls an early timeout.
BYU calls their first timeout of the game. 30 seconds.
Now, Tom, it's been a wild weekend of college football. Georgia and Alabama looking very impressive earlier today. And Clemson right now trying to hold on for dear life in College Station against the upstart Aggies of Texas A&M.
They've kind of gotten all the weather patterns down there in College Station today. It looked nice at the beginning of the day, but then the storms came barreling through. Georgia's up pretty darn good, huh?
Now, you and I will be in South Carolina next week, and we were curious to see if Will Muschamp's Gamecocks could stand up to his good friend Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. The answer was not yet.
Not yet. Georgia just has too much team speed, and boy, it showed today.
Sitake back to the drawing board this offseason, trying to figure out how to be more productive offensively. He'll run the multiple pro-style set. We've seen jumbo packages thus far. Play action for Mangum. First down. His tight end, a freshman All-American a year ago, Matt Bushman, in a gain of 12. Elijah Hicks with a tackle.
Well, Matt Bushman's just a great player, and you'd expect him. He only caught one ball a week ago. That ball went for a touchdown and 24 yards, but Mangum finds him crossing the defense of Cal, and that's just a good spot throw right there in between defenders, and another first down for BYU.
Bushman now with the reception in all 15 games in his BYU career, and the best is yet to come. With Simon in motion, give to Canada, and there goes Squally. A gain of 10 and a late flag. Ashton Davis brought him down. We'll check the penalty.
Holding. Offense, number 35. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's the bruiser.
Yeah,
El Bakri.
Yeah, Braden El Bakri, the fullback, who's trotting off the field right there. Just a kick-out block by number 35. I don't know if we have it on replay, but he got tagged with the hold. Watch him in his fullback position on the wing right there, just a lead blocker, and he wraps up. I don't blame him. He wraps up Evan Weaver, who had 13 tackles a week ago, so he spotted number 89 and said, "You're not going to make the tackle."
You loved watching Weaver on film this week. You smiled every time you talked about him.
Oh, Weaver was a beast.
We'll back him up a couple of yards, do first down over, play action for Mangum. Now flushed. Towards Achilles last year, week 7 at Fresno State. Tom, you and I were there, but appears to be healthy after missing the bulk of spring practice.
He really did have a tough year, and when you look up, perseverance, Tanner Magnum really had he's had quite a career. Turning 25 today, missed 5 games last year, started 8, threw for over 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and of course the offensive coordinator from last year, the great Ty Detmer, was relieved of his duties. So that's how it goes sometimes in college football. You don't put points on the board and you say bye-bye.
Lupini Katoa with a first down. So on 2nd and long, the delayed handoff to Lupini Katoa and a gain of 13.
Well, the other guy I liked on film this week was Lupini Katoa. Katoa is a great change of pace guy, but not only a change of pace. He's strong, he's elusive, and he'll get to that second level quick right there. Just great athleticism again by Katoa.
Two tight end formation on 1st and 10. Now in plus territory, Mangum looking deep, flings it to the flats. Pawu with a reception and a short pickup on first down. Evan Weaver with his first stop.
Interesting, talking to the BYU coaches, one of the questions to Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator, was, hey, you got so many playmakers. Do you have enough balls in the play call bag to get them around? And Pawu is one guy, number 84, who's a real special guy. Bushman, of course, the tight end. And then really one of the guys that hasn't touched it yet, Oliva Hifo.
Hodge in at quarterback. He'll run some Wildcat with Bo Hodge, the son of Merrill Hodge. Ganashik with the stop and a quality gain on 2nd down. A big 3rd down upcoming.
And again, up tempo, right on top of the ball is BYU.
Mangum under center, the flip to Hodge. Needed 3. And time by the initial spot, he's going to be marked just short. Cameron Bynum, who had a big week last week in the win against North Carolina, credited with the tackle.
Well, and Hodge they're going for it on 4th down. Hodge just lowered his helmet and his eyes.
Same play call. Hodge lunged for the first down. Did he get there? And I don't know.
Now from our vantage point, he's just short.
What a big stop that would be for Cal defensively on the opening possession of the night. Hodge was just cleared to play football again last week. He did not play at Arizona.
For measurement.
Was a quarterback here for 3 seasons in Provo. And it's now switched to running back number 7 in white. One more look.
Well, he is athletic right there again. Same play as third down. And, you know, just as his momentum started to go downhill, his eyes took him right into the dirt.
He's going to be short.
That's Cal, first down.
And the Bears out of the Pac-12 after a 10-play drive by BYU will stop the Cougars dead in their tracks. Kalani Sitake a bit surprised.
Well, we asked Coach Sitake yesterday about going for it on fourth down, and you know what, sometimes you just get the feeling, Roy, you want to get the chains moving, you want to keep the drive alive.
Back in Provo, Chase Garbers on the verge of making his first start in his collegiate career, number 7 for the Cal Golden Bears. In a scoreless tilt, Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott, Mark Morgan. A beautiful night for football, and there's a look at number 7 getting the start tonight. Came off the bench a week ago, and the inside give is brought down for a loss of 1. Sonoe Taki with his stop, and tell you what, he was all over the field last week, Tom. The win at Arizona, as you see Garbers.
Yeah, Garbers getting his first start. Redshirt freshman out of Corona Del Mar High School, Newport Beach, and had some decent numbers a week ago. You know, I think all the quarterbacks were a little nervous for Cal.
And after the carry by Laird, that one batted in the air, nearly picked off. Trajan Peely got his big paw up there, whacked that one down.
Oh, and here's the problem facing the BYU defense, Roy. They're big and physical inside, and they push the pocket right there. They just collapse the pocket on Garbers. He's got a long third down facing him now.
Crowd comes alive. Cal just 4 of 17 on third down a week ago. And a flag. This will bring him back 5 more yards.
Prior to the snap, full start. Offense, number 2, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Well, Justin Wilcox wanted to see how they were going to play on the road, and right there you see the crowd getting into it a little bit. And I'll tell you, when they snapped the ball, BYU's secondary had every receiver locked up. There was not going to be an open receiver that time.
Garbers, the redshirt freshman. Directing traffic. Floats it, and it's caught. A late penalty flag on the field. It flies in from near midfield. Needed 15, and he's right by the marker. Now the reception by Patrick Laird. This guy does a little bit of everything for Cal.
A little bit of the old Swiss Army knife is number 28. I'm wondering if might have had holding on BYU down the field.
Number 28 went out of bounds on his own and was the first to touch the pass. Illegal touching of a forward pass by the offense, number 28. Loss of down at the previous spot. It's fourth down.
Well, Laird was a wide receiver earlier in his career, the former walk-on, and just a mental mistake.
Well, it was, Roy. Here's the interesting rule in football. You can get knocked out of bounds and come back in, but you can't run out of bounds on your own and then come back into the field to play and make the catch, which is exactly what Patrick Laird did. It was a great athletic play by him, but he just lost track of where he was on the sideline and accidentally stepped out of bounds.
Stephen Coots will punt this one away. And a fair catch called for and made at the 32. That's a punt of 42 yards, and BYU's second possession coming up next. Chris, that's what we're talking about. Kellen Mond throws for over 400 yards tonight. And Jimbo got the best of defensive coordinator Brent Venables, but it was not enough. The Tigers hold on the road. Meanwhile, Mangum fires a missile ahead of the 47. That's a gain of 13. And the second grab by Laulu Pututau.
Laulu Pututau again, just crossing the formation, coming open. And Mangum again Nice job spotting his receiver, getting the ball downfield for the first down. And boy, a sigh of relief here in the box. Philpott relaxing now that Clemson pulled one out in College Station. I told you that was going to be a tough game for them.
It was, and Jimbo Fisher's done a great job in getting Kellen Mond back in the game. First incompletion for Mangum out in the flats looking for Pau. Double covered as Bynum tipped it away at the last second.
Yeah, the crowd wanted a flag. Bynum really timed it perfectly coming over the top of Pau. I thought Pau should have really driven his way back to the quarterback to make it an easier throw. Bynum really made a fine play there.
Now the crowd here loved the no call, as you can hear. It'll be 2nd and 10. Mangum, a 4 for 5 start. And you know, he told us this week that he was pleased to get the win in Tucson, but expects more of himself here tonight in the home opener.
BYU calls their second timeout.
And a timeout on the field as we step aside. 7 minutes in here in Provo.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And in part by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling.
Whiteout conditions back in Provo. Home opener for BYU. Cal and the Cougars both 1-0. Squally Canada into the boundary. And a quality pickup into plus territory. That's a gain of 7. Donashik with his stop, his second. Canada's dropping mixtapes. Off to a great start. Sataki very pleased with his performance in week 1 at Arizona. And he'll pick up a first down here. Needed 3, gained 4. The stop by Weaver. And Tom, interesting here. The Cougars going with tempo and a lot of jumbo packages, but also using play action. Here's a new offensive play caller, Jeff Grimes, mustache and all. And a show of unity with his BYU coaching staff. They love mustache mania. Of course, at BYU, you can't have facial hair really below the mustache area and above the upper lip there. So for the first time in his career, wearing the mustache. And the near side scamper down to the 39. That's a pickup of 5 yards. And a second look at Lupini Katoa.
Yeah, Jeff Grimes, you know, he comes most recently from LSU as the run game coordinator. Did a little time in the SEC. Had coached at Boise State many years ago with Dirk Cutter and Dan Hawkins, and went through the old Pac-10, and has had a very successful career coaching. But he really has brought an air of accountability, Roy, to that offensive line, and really that entire offense. They have to be at their best each week and really every play throughout the game.
For 3 straight runs, Mangum fires it in the flats and incomplete. Trying to spot Micah Simon for the second catch of this young season. And speaking of great mustaches, how about my man Tom Ramsey back in the day? Can I get a look? The Rose Bowl Hall of Famer wore it beautifully. There it is. There it is.
Yep. Oh, Audra will like that one.
3rd down for the Cougars. A 4-man front for Cal. BYU 2 of 3 on 3rd down thus far. Mangum across the middle, a laser beam, and it's batted down looking for his tight end, Matt Bushman. Evan Weaver able to sneak back. And how about Weaver? The tackles at the line and also drops back in coverage.
Boy, you know, Weaver's a good story. He used to have his hand in the dirt, so he used to be a defensive lineman. He made the transition to linebacker. That is a really good job by him, changing direction, opening up his hips, and then getting a hand on the ball, knock it down. And you know, he's coached by I think one of the best coaches in the Pac-12, Peter Sermon, who played at the University of Oregon, had a long NFL career, and just really a great coach.
Brett Allman hits it from his 47 into the end zone. And bring it out to the 20-yard line. Just underway in Provo, still scoreless. Now the big matchup coming up next weekend over on ABC. It's a top 20 showdown between Ohio State and TCU. Fighting Gary Patterson's back in action. Sophomore quarterback Sean Robinson off to a great start. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. And of course on the ESPN app, you can watch it anywhere. Going to be a lot of fun next weekend in Arlington, Texas. Garbers back to throw. And that one with too much mustard, looking for Ray Hudson.
What do you think about those Horned Frogs, partner?
I like the defense. I want to see if Robinson can hold up under the pressure he's going to face from Ohio State. Remember, Urban Meyer, that's the final game of his suspension. So I think we're going to see some drama in a very interesting matchup. But you love the early season clashes like that.
I bet you Gary Patterson's been working on that one for months. For months into the evening.
Garbers replacing Ross Bowers as the starter from week 1. A redshirt freshman from California. They'll empty the backfield for him. A cannon strike ahead of the 29. He'll be about a yard short of the first down. As Ray Hudson makes the first catch of the season, the 5th-year senior.
Yeah, they want to get the ball to Hudson. They targeted him a few times last week, didn't have any catches, and he was really the go-to guy on 3rd down. What I like about spreading BYU out there, Roy, was you make a determination who's the rushers and who's the defensive backfield. So you have to distinguish who's who.
Brandon McElwain, the transfer from South Carolina, steps in at quarterback. Also plays for the Cal Bears baseball program. Needed less than a yard, and he got that and a little bit more. Butch Pau brought him down, the inside backer. Now, McElwain, an interesting case study. Was Gatorade Player of the Year in Pennsylvania. Went to South Carolina. He'll step off the field here. Didn't work out. Jake Bentley took over the Gamecocks offense, and McElwain transferred to Berkeley. Now Garbers back in.
Yeah, nice little package for McElwain, getting the first down.
Duncan in motion. Laird. A little razzle-dazzle, some shake and bake, and that'll be good enough to move the chains. Austin Lee with a stop.
Really good patience that time by Laird, setting up his blockers. And, you know, that's just a smart runner right there. You see him, he's letting his guys work out in front. Watch how down the line, the center, Holmes gets a nice block, and then he runs right off it, right off his hip.
Back to live action. Garbers in front of Vic Wharton. Led Cal in the receiving last year. Garbers would like to have that one back. Wharton broke open. He was covered by Michael Shelton, but not very well.
Yeah, it looked like he had a step on Shelton. And, you know, they're going to put the corners on an island sometimes. Chris Wilcox, the other corner. They'll get some business out there. Shelton, that time he comes off the field.
Garbers, who adds this dimension to the Bears offense, picks up a first down and now in BYU territory. Well, that's the reason they wanted to start him tonight in place of Ross Bowers. It's a gain of 16.
That's exactly the reason he got the start. You're right. Right there, a little zone read inside.
And straight ahead for a short gain. Up to the 40-yard line goes Laird, who carried the ball 29 times last week against North Carolina. Devin Kafusi with the hit. Now the Kafusi brothers, one of the great stories here at BYU. 92 Devin and 90 Corbett. A nice 1-2 punch, and perhaps two players that have NFL ability.
Well, big brother Bronson on the New York Jets roster as of today.
McElwain back in at quarterback on second down. Right up the gut to the 35. That'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Well, they have to respect the perimeter because McElwain can throw it, as you mentioned. Being a transfer, being a baseball player, I mean, he can spin it out there. He had a couple throws last week against North Carolina, 1 for 2 on the day, and just missed throwing a touchdown. The ball got batted down last week.
Left side, and a shoestring stop as Hawkins was tackled by Zane Anderson. Tommy's going to lose 2.
Anderson's another transitional player, Roy. He used to play in the defensive backfield, moved up to linebacker. He told us coming off the field yesterday, he said, yeah, you know, I'm a little closer to the action and things are happening pretty quick. And right there, just a great reaction that time to make the hit in the backfield.
Crowd is lively on 4th down. Seven in the box, Garbers. Warden's got it, and that'll move the chains inside the 25. He just grabbed the inside leverage in front of Keenan Ellis, the backup corner.
Yeah, true freshman Keenan Ellis, and I just think they looked at what the matchups were, and the boundary corner was the guy to go to and go against on 4th down. A nice throw and catch.
I love it when you quarterbacks start talking about the corners you want to attack. Garbers saw the same thing in his first career start. With a pocket this time, surveys, floats it, midfield, touchdown! What a toss by Garbers. Patrick Laird reels it in. That's a 25-yard scoring strike.
How about that? We talk about Patrick Laird at the top of the show rushing the ball, and yet he's the one that comes down with a really fine reception there. And what a nice throw that time by Chase Garbers, laying it in and hitting Laird right in stride.
Greg Thomas on for the point after attempt. On its way and good, and our new score with 1:46 remaining in our first quarter. The Bears from Berkeley out in front at BYU.
It shows you when you go for it on 4th down, you roll the dice a little bit when you have the momentum, and Bo Baldwin calling a nice play there, and Garbers hanging in the pocket, throwing a strike to Laird and putting Cal on the board.
Laird, the former walk-on, has played wide receiver, had a breakout campaign a year ago with over 1,000 yards on the ground as a running back, but he's got great hands.
Yeah, he's a well-respected young man, that Cal team. And I made a comment to him last night. We were talking to him. I was watching the TV version of last week's game, and he scored a touchdown, and he had both the head coach and the offensive coordinator come over and say, hey, is everything okay? Like I said, I haven't seen, coaches come and check in with players on the sideline. I said, what'd you tell them? What'd you tell the coaches? He goes, oh, they just wanted to make sure I wasn't winded. And then I did. I kind of stretched the ball out. I said, yeah, but you made a touchdown. He goes, yeah, but the rule is I'm not supposed to, stretch it. I did fumble it. Garbers numbers, 3 of 6, 46 yards. And a heck of a strike to Laird.
Laird under specific instructions not to reach the football out unless it's on 4th down. Hifo brings it back to the 15, and that'll be it. Third member of our crew on the sideline is Mark Morgan. Mark?
Guys, you mentioned Patrick Laird obviously made that great touchdown pass a moment ago. He's an avid reader, and he decided to parlay his love of reading into something positive. So his summer reading challenge was born, and this is really cool. Laird set up his own website challenging students in grades 1 through 6 to sign up and read a specific number of books to receive tickets to last week's game against North Carolina. Close to 3,600 kids signed up. That's 3,000 who attended last week's game. And again, Laird said, hey, I expected 100 or 200, and he's stunned by the reaction. An
amazing story when you think about it as BYU takes over, trailing for a few minutes at Arizona, 10-7 in the second quarter a week ago. And Laird signing autographs with those 3,600 kids, each of whom read at least 4 books over the course of the summer. He even pitched this idea to the Cal administration. It's cleared through NCAA compliance. More than 3,000 tickets purchased for that opener, the win against UNC. And a bright kid that really has a bright future, has already graduated, working on his master's. Could be a lawyer one day, Tom Ramsey. 2nd and 8. Patient run by Canada. He'll pick up 4.
And I think he's going to be whatever he wants to be. Is what I think Patrick Laird's going to be. It's interesting, that initiative took months, right? He started it back in the end of January, and early part of February. It was not an easy task at all.
Time winding down here in our first quarter with Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott, Mark Morgan. Big third down for the Cougars. Four-man pressure, and that one nearly picked off. He's looking for his tight end, and Evan Weaver again. Check that, Davis, the intended receiver, but Weaver has been all over the field in these first 15 minutes.
Weaver's been an impact guy both last week and this week. See him from that middle linebacker position. He just takes the #1 guy coming to him, and sure enough, Davis right there, and Tanner Magnum trying to sticking the ball in, but Weaver blocks it, knocks it away.
Allman standing inside his own 10. Turn it over beautifully to Wharton at the 31. And a shoestring stop after the 45-yard kick and a 2-yard return. Well, the time is now to make sure you are on board with ESPN Plus. Start your free trial today. Download the ESPN app or visit ESPNplus.com on this picturesque evening for week 2 of college football in Provo, Utah. We were watching the app all afternoon long. That sensational victory by Clemson, holding on for dear life against Texas A&M. Bama impressive, as we mentioned. Georgia on the road at South Carolina, getting the job done. You watch that app, you can stay in touch with every game across the board. So 3 and out for BYU, and now Cal gets the football back. First carry for Marcel Dancy, junior college transfer. It should be the final play of our first quarter. And it is. So Cal gets off to a great start, a 7-0 lead. The first career start of Chase Garbers, redshirt freshman from Newport Beach, California. 7-0 Bears. ESPN College Football presented by Geico. Back in Provo in the start of our second quarter. Tom Ramsey, Mark Morgan, Roy Philpott inside of Lavelle Edwards Stadium, and a 7-0 lead for the Bears. Dancy will test it near side and a short pickup. We check in once again with Chris Cotter back in the studio. Chris.
All right, guys, time for Capital One fan vote update. Penn State and Pitt. Now, this game was nip and tuck, as you might expect, between these two. Close, and then the second half started. Here's DeAndre Tompkins taking this short punt, 38 yards to the house, directing his blockers. It's now 37-6. Penn State on top over on ABC.
Now James Franklin claiming beating Pittsburgh is like beating Akron a year ago. And this Nittany Lions playing well so far tonight. On third down, Garbers incomplete. Trying to spot Wharton. He was double covered. Chris Wilcox ready and waiting.
Well, and Sione Taki coming off the edge that time unblocked, and somehow Garbers was able to shake him, and that's a heck of a play to make. BYU's best tackler miss you. Coming from the left side, Taki loops around and just misses the sack on Garbers, and credit Garbers just for getting the ball off that time.
That's the reason he got the start, the athleticism. As Coots sends it inside the 15, nearly muffed. And recovered quickly as Michael Shelton had a big return a week ago. Will lose a couple after a 52-yard effort. So 1 minute into our first quarter, Cal with a touchdown advantage, and BYU offensively, Tom, in search of some sort of rhythm, and it took him a little bit of time to get going in Tucson a week ago. Is there something you'd like to see more of here from Tanner Mangum, perhaps?
Well, you know, I think what will help Tanner Magnum is the run game, and I liked what they did in that first drive of the game. Squally Canada had had a few carries. He has 7 attempts so far tonight, 28 yards, and I just think they have to utilize their strengths, Roy, and really their strength is their offensive line.
I formation on first down. Katoa, the running back. Play action again for Mangum, who's missed his last 4 attempts. He'll end that streak. A late penalty flag as Hefo reels in the reception. Tartable in coverage. That's a gain of 16, pending the flag. Our Big 12 crew tonight, led by Reggie Smith.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 59. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Jordan Kanashik, the guilty party. Team captain tonight after a 7-tackle effort against North Carolina last Saturday.
Yeah, Kanashik and Laird voted 2 season-long captains, and
the play will count for the 16-yard pickup. BYU trying to get something cooking in the second quarter. Mangum surveyed, found an open receiver far side. And a gain of 7. Well, they've got tight ends and these jumbo backs they like to get the football to quickly. And that time Mangum, it took him some time, but he got there to Katoa, the running back.
He did. I like Mangum that time, Roy. What he did, he scanned the entire field, and really the receiver was his third option. I mean, he goes left to middle to right, and he knew exactly where the outlet was that time, and that's a nice gain on first down.
On second down, they'll fake the jet sweep, and Canada needed 4, and he'll get there with a second effort. Squally Canada plants the leg, makes the cut, and explodes for 4 yards. A stop by Drayden.
Yeah, that's just a good second effort by Squally Canada that time. And again, you know, they just have to get back to their bread and butter, which is pound the football, push people off the line of scrimmage, and then work in play action, and then bring in your heavy set, your tight end packages, and look for Matt Bushman.
Power set again for the Cougars. Canada met at the line, bounces it outside, and Squally Canada to midfield. That's a first down.
I think it was Kanashik that had Canada formed up in the hole, and I mean, he delivers a textbook hit. He pow, that's 2 big men right there. And what does Canada do? Canada just bounces off it, keeps his legs going, and what I say about he keeps his shoulders square, bounces off, hits another hole. Just great effort.
Hodge now, the quarterback, fly sweep. Dylan Colley, the one-time BYU receiver, turned Hawaii wide out, and now back at BYU. Was brought down at the line, so 3rd and inches, Tom.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the the wildcat. Sometimes use it down in the plus territory. Do it in the inside the 20-yard line, midfield. This is costly, right? Now you got 3rd and 1, and Cal has stopped them before on a 3rd and 1 and made them go for it on 4th, and they didn't get it. So you got to be really careful of use of play calls here at midfield.
Mangum under center. Canada off right tackle into plus territory. That'll move the chains. Well, BYU last year just 4-9, and Kalani Sitake really had to look hard at himself in the mirror this offseason to try to figure out how the Cougars could improve on that ledger, and so far they've done exactly that. And one of the things they examined was the play of the offensive line and their play calling, and as far it's worked out fairly well. Still early.
Yeah, and again, go to what your strengths are, and I think that was a lot of the feedback they got from the players, right, Roy? I mean, they're listening to the players, and they want more maturity on the team. The player-led workouts in the offseason were also just a huge success for BYU.
Screen pass, and somehow Mangum was able to get some positive yards out of that play as Holker makes a grab.
Well, and there you see the senior experience of Tanner Mangum, where he doesn't throw a bad ball. He waited till his receiver on a slow screen got open, and Holker was able to kind of back himself into getting open, and just a heady play that time.
Second catch of the season for Dallin Holker. Fly sweep. Hifo with a running lane and shoved out of bounds near the 35. That's a gain of 9. Weaver the stop. The drive continues.
Yeah, Weaver's on his he's on the fast track there trying to catch Hifo, and just a jet sweep that time. I really like the explosiveness of Hifo, another one of those great perimeter players for BYU, and you see how quickly he plants his foot and gets up the field for the first down.
9th play of the drive. Drop back for Mangum. Crossing pattern. Lolu Pututau, first down. 3rd grab of the night for the massive tight end. 6'5", 250.
Well, Jeff Grimes really doing a nice job here, spreading the ball around, and Lolu Pututau coming across the formation again, and again, what does Tanner Mangum do? He gets rid of the ball quick, so there's not pressure to protect him, and the Cal rush can't get to him.
You love the crossing patterns.
Love
when those
the
guys
crossers.
go across the middle.
Love the crossers against man, not so much against zone.
Simon in motion, play action. Here comes the pressure, and Mangum on a dangerous toss to Canada. Really had it picked off, and the Bears dialed up the pressure at the right time.
Wow, about 5 great things happened, and I'll say 2 great things happened for BYU and 3 great things happened for the Cal Bears, because they did bring blitz. They bring it off the edge. Hawkins comes hard that time, and Mangum gets it to his man, Canada, but goes off his hands, and then hello, Mr. Weaver.
Crunch time. 2nd down, Mangum under center. And it's been a staple of the first 2 quarters. Play action. Mangum has some real estate. Scampers out of bounds inside the 20. Jalen Hawkins tried to chase him down, couldn't get there. And a short pickup.
Well, smart play that time. I talked to the quarterback coach before the game, Aaron Roderick. He said, sometimes our quarterback's going to have to run a little bit. He's going to have to make plays with his feet. And Tanner Mangum again, good athlete. I think a senior eyes that time, didn't have what he was looking for downfield. Get some positive yards, lessen the amount of time. Now, do they have to score 7 here, Roy? Well, it's important to get an equivalent number on the board pretty soon. I think you really want to finish this drive.
Kalani Sitake likes to go for it on 4th down. Across the middle, batted down. And that'll bring up 4th down for BYU. And here comes the field goal unit. Now Weaver right there ready and waiting, and Evan Weaver's having himself quite a first half.
Weaver just has great football IQ, and again, he's had his hand in the dirt. He knows that in order to rush a passer, if you can't get to the passer, you want to jump up and get in the line of where he's throwing the ball, and that's just great effort that time by both inside linebackers.
6 tackles and 3 passes batted down already for Evan Weaver. And here comes a 36-yard field goal attempt off the foot of Skylar Southam. From the right hash on the way. And his first attempt of the season is good, and BYU on the scoreboard for the first time. Less than 8 to go in our first half. 7-3, the Bears still out in front. Back in Provo, Tom Ramsey, Mark Morgan, Roy Philpott. It's whiteout conditions in a 7-3 ball game. Good one here inside Lavelle Edwards Stadium.
That just doesn't look fair down on the field.
That looks scary.
Put me in one of those things. I'll jump off the top turnbuckle on that guy.
Mickelson set to kick this one away for the Cougars. Interesting start in this one. We knew it would be physical. It's been exactly that and then some. And both of these teams looking for more big plays offensively. Ashton Davis from the 1. The All-American track standout. Stays alive near the 40 before he stepped out of bounds. There is a flag back at the 25.
Yeah, what does the Pac-12 2017 Pac-12 110 hurdler champion look like? Well, just like that on the sideline, running down the sideline and hurdling a defender like it's a high hurdle. Impressive. With the yards have been tough to come by tonight.
Yeah, they have.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 83, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Grad transfer from Michigan, Ian Bunting, the reserve tight end, the guilty party. Cal taking over, 1st and 10 when we return. Great crowd here tonight. Tom Ramsey, we've enjoyed this start, and the home team trailing 7-3. The students were here about 90 minutes before kickoff, filing in quickly. They have been loud and proud as Cal takes over.
Now, we mentioned yards have been tough to come by tonight. Cal with 84 total yards, 38 on the ground, and only 1 of 3 tonight on 3rd down.
First start for Garbers, flings this one complete across the 20. No, they'll say he was bobbling that one. Patrick Laird, the intended receiver, covered by Corbin Kafusi, who's applying the pressure.
Yeah, Kafusi, such a dominant athlete, 6'9", 280. He's played at 300 pounds. Brother Bronson playing in the NFL. Isaiah, backup outside linebacker, but they got to get more production from their defensive line. They rush 4 guys a lot of the time, and they just got to continue to get push out of that defensive line.
Garbers keeps it. Makes a nice move, and that's a first down. Chase Garbers providing some fireworks at that quarterback position, a gain of 11.
Well, he just ran out of an arm tackle by Troy Warner, too. They had the right call. Taki came off the edge and took the running back and the fake, and Garbers did a nice job. He pulled the ball out, and then he broke a tackle of Warner and got a nice gain.
2 carries, 28 yards for the freshman making his first career start. This time from the gun, play action. Wants it all. And overthrew his receiver, Jordan Duncan. Had a great offseason, a speedster out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Now Corbin Kafusi has been applying pressure early this season and often.
Yeah, Kafusi, again, number 90, coming off the edge. Got a late start there. Nice swim move that time. And get the Garbers. He ran right around Malik McMorris.
Brendan McElwain checks in at quarterback. Straight ahead, and McElwain, no-nonsense approach, close to a first down. Chris Wilcox and Taki combined to make the stop.
Yeah, Taki really delivered a blow that time. And you know, it's interesting. I was talking to Marcus Tuiasosopo before the game, the quarterback's coach for Cal, and you know, both those guys do such a good job. Actually, all 3. Ross Bowers, who started last week, Chase Garbers getting the start tonight, Brandon McElwain. You know, it's a luxury, Roy, when you have 3 guys that can pull the trigger. It makes a big difference. But he just said, you know, Garbers had such a great fall camp. They just really deserving of it.
Laird finds a running lane across left tackle. Head to the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 6. Riggs Powell with a hit.
They always talk about, you know, the more time you have at midfield, the more time you're taking snaps at midfield, you're seeing it. The game's slowing down a little bit, and I think that's what Garbers is experiencing now.
Kafusi tried to chase down Laird from the backside. As he escapes up to the 40, it'll be 3rd down.
3rd down tonight, Cal, 1 of 3. So I think it's important, you know, 5:52 left on the clock. You want to keep the chains moving. Garbers out again, McElwain back in. You think QB run. Everyone thinks QB run. Everybody.
They'll fake it. Hawkins dropped it. 4th down. Well, that's a play that Jeremiah Hawkins has to make, the sophomore receiver.
Got to make it. I thought they might throw it that time.
You sensed it. You set that up beautifully.
Yeah. I mean, you know, after the third time, it's like, okay, well, he can throw it. Watching him last week and watching him on film. McMorris in the flat. Hawkins gets blown up. Powell delivering the shot there.
Big stop for the BYU defense, even if it was a drop by Hawkins. And the Cougars will take over, the chance to gain the lead for the first time tonight.
Big stop, and that's a frustration for Cal on offense. You want to get those first downs and keep those chains moving.
Shelton gets hammered at the 15. Nice job by the Cal special teams. 1st and 10 for BYU. Coming up. Week 1 of the NFL season is here. Make sure you join us for Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Rex Ryan, Charles Woodson, Sam Ponder and company will have all the early breaking stories, injury updates for you fantasy lovers, and like everything else, of course, on the ESPN app. And speaking of the NFL, Tanner Mangum celebrating his 25th birthday tonight. Older than many of tomorrow's starters. On first down, deep in BYU territory. Pifo with a quick grab and a nifty move across the 20, and he's brought down there. So we check in once again with Chris Cotter back in the studio. Chris.
Gentlemen, halftime's coming up in just a few minutes. I'll be joined by Emmanuel Acho and Jim Moore. The game in College Station lived up to all the hype. Clemson, Texas A&M got highlights of that one. No huddle, rapid fire highlights, and game balls. And it's not every day we go to Lawrence, Kansas in football to give out a game ball. We're going to do that later on. Coming up. See you at that.
Big win for the Jayhawks earlier today. Off the schneid with that road losing streak. And congratulations to KU. Canada on second down will get a first down ahead to the 30. And a punishing run as Kanashik is on the wrong end of that blow. Oh, we mentioned Mangum turning 25 today. Actually older than 7 starters tomorrow, not to mention the 4 first-round draft picks and Jameis Winston, who's suspended early part of the season for the Bucs, so older really than 12 quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's remarkable. That's Darnold, 21.
Maybe the line of the week was when you told him, hey, you're halfway to 50, and he kind of looked at you. Now floats it deep. Colley's open, and he makes a grab, and then it popped out. Perfectly timed collision. Elijah Hicks was there, and also Cam Bynum.
Yeah, I think Hicks was stride for stride with Colley, and then Bynum was the one that jarred the ball away. Just a really fine defensive play. Timed it up, and the ball was out nice. Mangum really tossed it that. I mean, he got the ball out. That's
Colley's
what you want.
Got to make that grab.
Colley went and high pointed it too. I mean, he did what he could, but I thought Bynum just made a spectacular play on defense.
Well, if you're a fan of the Cougars, you like your team taking a shot on first down. We'll flip it ahead to Matt Bushman, and a gain of 9 will make it 3rd and short. Weaver the stop, his 7th of our first half.
And Roy, I'm a tight end guy. Bushman would catch, if he was my tight end, he'd catch 10 balls in this game. I would just keep feeding him inside because it'll loosen up the outside receivers.
Now Weaver thought that maybe that ball hit the ground.
Prior to the snap, California calls their first timeout of the half.
So the Bears perhaps will give this veteran officiating crew one more time to take a look. And we'll step aside momentarily. 3:33 remaining in a fast-moving first half. Third down and 1. A controversial sequence that concluded moments ago. It looked like Bushman may have dropped the pass before it was cleanly caught. There was no review as Canada on 3rd and short needed 1 gain 2 as the drive stays alive.
Right now they're 50%, 4 of 8.
Officials
on 3rd down
for an injured player on defense.
Jordan Knoshik, the injured Bear player. Well, temperatures in the upper 70s tonight. Cramping should not be a factor. Still early in the season, and Knoshik's gotten off to a great start as a team captain for Cal. This is a big game for both of these teams, setting the tone for the early part of the season, as both programs coming off losing campaigns last year, Tom. And you know, two coaches, Justin Wilcox year 2, Kalani Sitake year 3. They want to see improvement from their clubs this year.
Well, they do, and I can tell you in BYU's case, Roy, they want to capture a little bit of momentum this week because they have to play at Madison, Wisconsin next week, and that's not an easy task for Kalani Sitake and company.
And the schedule for the Cougars, you'll see 4 Pac-12 opponents, including Arizona last week, a victory in Tucson, Cal tonight, Utah later in the season. You mentioned Wisconsin. And Kalani Sitake telling us that's one of the reasons players want to come here, to face that kind of daunting schedule. They'll also see Boise State out of the Mountain West. Top 20 program. Broncos rolling tonight against UConn at home. Madison Polshaper makes the grab into plus territory. The ball popped out late. And did Cal fall on it?
I think the back judge is going to say he was down, but I'm not sure they have the ball marked. Oh, maybe the side judge. Yeah, the side judge got it marked.
It's a gain of 18. Hicks tried to strip him.
Yeah.
The ruling on the field is that the ball carrier caught the ball. He was subsequently down by rule. First down.
So another break for BYU on this possession as we take another look.
Yeah, so Pulsiver just makes a nice catch on a square end route, and yeah, the Cal defense, he's down there, and then the ball gets ripped up after he was on the ground. First down, BYU.
Officiating by this Big 12 crew. Empty backfield for Tanner Mangum. The senior surveys again and fires wide of Micah Simon. And that one wasn't close.
Just off target. When Tanner Mangum misses, he misses badly. I mean, he's off the mark, and right there, Cougars getting 5 guys free releasing into the route, so they're putting a lot of pressure on that Cal defense, and Mangum had his target in Simon, just unable to deliver.
18 of 28 a week ago at Arizona, 11 of 19 so far tonight. Canada back in there. Pawu in motion, he'll get it. He reversed his direction on the fly sweep, and a gain of 5. Neil Pawu, a couple of receptions a week ago, 3rd and 5 right now. And BYU plodding along in these first 2 quarters, trying to grab the lead right before halftime here. Mangum. Simon dropped it. Hicks was right there behind him. And that's a play that Simon needs to make.
Yep, he had Simon open. He delivered the ball on time, and you know, again, I like what BYU does, Roy. They throw a lot of different formations, different personnel groups, but the concepts remain the same. That was really the same play. They just flipped it over.
4th down, BYU's going to go for it. Kalani Sitake telling us this week his job is to love him up and go for it on 4th down, and so far, it's exactly what he's done tonight. Here comes some pressure. Mangum stays alive, lost the football. And the Cal defense holds once again. Funches got there as the pocket collapsed quickly, Tom.
Well, they brought pressure that time, and Funches had a good week a week ago, rushing the passer. He had a quarterback hurry last week and a half of a sack against North Carolina. Again, they bring pressure. They bring 6. They bring Kanashik on the blitz. I believe Weaver was in there too, so they brought both backers up into the A-gap, and just smart playing that time by the Cal defense.
First sack of the season given up by BYU.
Tim DeRuyter, the defensive coordinator, I love how he gambles. I like DeRuyter, former head coach at Fresno State.
He's got that mentality in him.
Oh man, he's got some let's do this.
Laird straight ahead. Well, we mentioned it at the onset as well. Cal wanted to go bigger with a grizzly package tonight. That's what they call it. And they've added more beef up front with the loss of Cameron Good. And hey, so far, so good. And
it's really matching up to the multiple tight ends look you get from BYU constantly, pretty much every series. So a crucial series here for the Cal Bears.
Less than 2 to play in our first half. Empty backfield for Garbers, who's got some real estate in front of him. Well, it took him an extra second or two to realize that as he scampers out at midfield.
And nobody's open downfield. No, nobody. I mean, they had everybody covered up. He's scanning. He's looking down the field, but Garbers didn't see anything that time. BYU sitting in a soft zone, and then when the Cal Bear receiver runs into it, they get really kind of covered up by the man in that particular zone, so really nowhere to go with the ball. Third down for Cal.
Cougars have dominated with time of possession, but trail 7-3. Garbers tipped, 4th down. Kairos Tonga had back surgery 4 months ago, swatted that one away, now healthy, and he's been a factor early this year.
Kairos Tonga, number 95, about 6'5", 3, how much? 350. He is one big load right there. Great push that time, gets that big left mid in the air, knocks the ball down. Again, rushing 4 guys, everyone else is in coverage.
Just a sophomore, Tom. His best football still well in front of him. You see number 95 and he weighs 350, you gotta call him a big dude, right?
Or biscuit.
Getting away quickly by Coots. Fair catch called for. Made at the 13. 38-yard punt. Cougars taking over. And Kairos Tonga, boy, he was dancing yesterday at the walkthrough. We had some fun watching him. And Tom, if I didn't know any better, you were heckling just about every BYU player that walked past us, and Tonga was more than happy to engage.
Just breaking bread with the people, Phil. I like to dance.
Tonga does as well. Don't forget Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell coming up tomorrow night. Red Sox and Astros in the final game of this big 3-game series. Right in front of the Green Monster at Fenway. Coverage starts 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN with baseball tonight. Sunday night countdown. What could be a preview of the ALCS, the defending champs in Fenway. Always a good time of year for Major League Baseball. Mangum on first down. Spots Hefo, a nice move. He's lucky to gain a yard on that play.
I think Houston's won the last 2 in that series.
Astros, Jose Altuve, one of my favorite players. He's about Roy Philpott's height, which I really appreciate. Another story for another day. Pitching's getting better for Houston as well. Approaching a minute to play in our first half. Mangum with all kinds of time. The pass was bothered right as it came out of his hand. Chris Palmer may have got a fingertip on it.
Last week against Arizona, they moved Tanner Mangum just a little bit more. They ran some dash, which really they tried to pin the defensive end and then tried to get Mangum out on the edge, open up the field a little bit. They haven't done that. And then I think what, if you want to take a shot deep, this is really not the area to do it, but I think they need to, in the second half, they'll need to run a couple double moves on the Cal secondary.
3rd and long, BYU with just 1 timeout remaining. You wonder if Kalani Sitake wants to try to bleed the clock here. Otherwise, Cal's going to have good field position and some time to work with. The jet sweep. And Pawu tackled from behind, short of the 15. And here comes a timeout called by Justin Wilcox. So Weaver making another play, and now Cal with an opportunity to add to its lead potentially.
California calls their second timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout. Will the clock operator please reset the clock to 1 minute, 2 seconds.
Yeah, Weaver has just been a tackling machine. 10 so far tonight, just in the first half. He had 13 a week ago.
They can't block him, and he knows it.
No, they can't punch us over there. They're getting a. I mean, when the runners run right into your lap, go ahead and tackle them.
Well, it was a week ago where Cal at home held serve, forcing 4 turnovers. And North Carolina fell behind 24-3 with a couple of picks. Ashton Davis and also Jalen Hawkins getting the job done. And then Cameron Good, who's out tonight, a lower leg injury to the house that really created the separation for the Bears against Carolina from the ACC. And Justin Wilcox said, you know what, we were fortunate to force those turnovers. We need to play better tonight. They've been more efficient defensively, but a special teams gap here as the punter, Red Allman, was hit. We'll see if this is the personal foul or running into the kicker kind. Turta maybe ran right into him. Big call here with 55 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Alex Nathurda, the backup running back, special teamer, got a piece of the punter.
Running into the kicker, defense number 31. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
Yeah, he didn't get blocked into him. He just ran into his leg, and you got to stay off. You got to, again, player safety paramount in college and pro football, and every level of football for that matter. But really watching the game closely at the 2 upper levels this year.
Well, the good news is for Cal, it wasn't roughing the kicker, which would have resulted in a 15-yard penalty and a 1st down. Running into it, just the 5-yard variety.
Yep.
And Red Allman trots back on the field in front of this near capacity crowd. Great atmosphere tonight. The home opener for BYU. And Wharton was hit by his own man, never touched the football. And Cal will take over near its own 30-yard line. Zane Anderson thought he had a touchdown, but it was never touched by Wharton.
Or was it? Didn't appear to be touched. It was close. Ball was awfully close to both Cal players.
That was a long snapper, Slater Zellers, 45. That created the contact with Wharton.
The ruling on the field is illegal touching by a member of the kicking team before the ball was touched by the receivers. It'll be California's ball at the spot of illegal touching, 1st and 10 from their 31-yard line.
I don't know that I agree with that call, as Anderson, it really didn't feel like initiated the contact with the long snapper to create the issue with Wharton. So he's fighting off.
I didn't think so either. I don't think Zane Anderson did anything other than run by Wharton.
The ruling on the field is an illegal touching of a kick by the kicking team. The previous play is under further review.
Vic Lornay, our replay official tonight, after the 44-yard punt. And an interesting sequence here at the end of our first half. Well, judging from our vantage point, it really didn't appear to be the correct call. We'll have a chance to go to the replay booth and take a look, which is a bit surprising in itself. Well, a wild evening of college football concluding. Got Arizona State, Michigan State over on ESPN. Cal BYU here. And Wharton tried to make the catch, but was interfered with by his own teammate.
Yeah, I just don't see where Zane Anderson did. He never touched Wharton. He never touches Wharton. It's his own man that runs into him.
And that was Brandon Smith, the quarterback, who also wears 45.
And so if the ball was never touched by anybody, actually the ball is down right where Zane Anderson touches it at the 30-yard line. So I'm not sure exactly what the side judge saw.
Ed Lamb, special teams coordinator for the Cougars. Just not something you see all that often. The illegal touch, not allowing the receiver to be able to make the catch in a kicking situation, but at that point when his own player collides into him, not as a result of Zane Anderson pushing him, should be no penalty.
After further review, the ruling on the field of illegal touching is confirmed. Number 23 was first to touch the kick. It'll be California's ball, 1st and 10 from the 31-yard.
Yeah, exactly. So Zane Anderson, where he touched the ball is where the ball is down. It's simple. They didn't have to go to review. That was they just wanted a little airtime there, Phil.
They got it. Cal takes over. 46 seconds remaining in our first half. Garbers back in there. Layered with a grab and dances out the 36. Laird caught the only touchdown of the night back in our first quarter from 25 yards out. And has had a productive evening once again, the former walk-on. He's getting kids to read books back in Berkeley. He's scoring touchdowns, rushing for 1,000 yards. The second catch of the night. Make it 3 as he dances out again. After a 2-yard pickup, Taki shoved him out.
Well, when I saw him last night in the hotel, we happened to be staying in the same hotel as the Cal Bears, and I said, hey, you had a nice game, 95 yards. I said, you really got beat up. What, were you in the ice bath all day on Sunday? What'd the O-linemen do for you? He said, well, they actually bought me breakfast on Sunday. I was like, they should. They should buy you breakfast and maybe dinner too.
The entire Cal offensive line back from last year. They're playing better so far tonight. And right as you say that, Jake Curran.
Offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Got a little antsy that time from his right tackle spot.
Yep, Curran, a 12-game starter a year ago, just moved before the snap of the ball. So now it puts Bo Baldwin, the play caller, in a little different position.
Operator, please reset the game clock to 38 seconds.
Bears with just one timeout remaining. You got to think on 3rd down, Bo Baldwin will elect to be conservative here.
Well, and Roy, they're only 1 of 5. 1 of 5 on 3rd down tonight. It's just, you're asking a lot out of your redshirt freshman quarterback on 3rd and 9.
Thank you.
To throw it down the field, and you do want to be careful here. I'd say, just try and run a draw and get out of the half.
They'll throw it. Garbers looking for Laird on a delayed wheel route. And the pass is incomplete as it sails out of bounds. Well, we've seen a little bit of everything so far tonight in a low-scoring throwback contest. And for Justin Wilcox, he's got to love his position. 4-point lead on the road, approaching halftime.
Yeah, and I think both teams go in at halftime. They make adjustments. And they say, listen, we had some things we could have done. Garbers 5 of 13, 52 yards and 1 touchdown throw to Patrick Laird, 25 yards, 3 rushes, 30 yards. I mean, he does keep the play alive. You want to extend the play, but I think they still have to get the ball downfield a little bit to one of their wideouts, both teams.
Shelton really lost the handle again, driven backwards after a 43-yard punt by Coots. So 23 seconds remaining for BYU and just 1 timeout. With not good field position, Tom.
Yeah, and we knew it would be the line of scrimmage would be a challenge, right? Both you really have to get the run game going, and neither team is over 100 yards in the first half rushing the ball. BYU 85 yards, Cal 72 yards. So a little bit of underproduction. I thought we'd see at least 150 yards by at least one team in the first half rushing the football.
Should be the final play of the first half. Trick play. As Knoshik tackle Hefo after a gain of 7. And the clock stops at the 30. Well, that was crafty.
You remember what I told our producer this week? I'm always looking for the fumble rooski. That's a little bit, that's another version.
Calls their third and final timeout of the half. Be a 30-second timeout.
8 seconds
Will the clock
remaining.
Operator, please reset the clock to 11 seconds. 11 seconds, please.
Kalani Sitake digging deep into his bag of tricks there, trying to get Cal snoozing right before halftime.
Thank you.
And I think the message that Kalani Sitake has to say is, hey, listen, you know, this is when good teams play hard in the second half. You have a home game, you have a whiteout, you know, take pride in your abilities, and you know, you got to come out and you want people jumping up and down. You don't want people sitting on their hands at a home game.
Road win last week at Arizona, home opener for the Cougars, trailing 7-3. Defensive slugfest first half here in Provo.
And I think they got to get some wind in their sails before they go to Madison, Wisconsin, because that's going to be a tough one.
Mangum. Spot Hefo plus territory. 5 seconds remaining. That's a gain of 20. There is a flag back at the 31.
Well, that is the dash concept there. They pin Funchess, the defensive end.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the pass. Offense, number 89. He was covered up by another wideout on the end of the line. 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Well, that's been a point of emphasis early this season in the games we've seen.
Yeah, so Bushman was lined up on the line of scrimmage, but the outside receiver was lined up on the line of scrimmage too, therefore making Bushman ineligible. That's a good acknowledgement by the referees. But again, you know, that dash movement gets the quarterback out. You have a lot of real estate out there. That BYU had a nice route drawn up. Now I think with 5 seconds left, you take a knee and get out of the half.
And that appears to be what Kalani Sitake is elected to do, the senior quarterback under center. And he's still running around back there where he finally kneels down. 7-3 our halftime score here in Provo. It's a throwback matchup between Cal and BYU as we send you to the studio. The halftime report. ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. Back in Provo, Utah, the start of our second half. 7-3 Cal in front of BYU on a beautiful night for college football.
1 of 6 on third down, and they've only run 29 plays the entire first half.
Cal gets the football to begin our third quarter, and a hard hit across the 20. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bears. And to your point, first 2 quarters, the numbers pretty much tell the story.
Yeah, when you don't have efficiency on third down, it really hampers the entire process on offense. And you know, Cal, they struggled. I mean, when the leading rusher's your quarterback on 3 scrambles, that's tough, especially when Patrick Laird comes in having rushed for 95 yards a week ago against a tough North Carolina front. I think you got to hand him a ball a few more times.
Swing pass, Patrick Laird. Caught the only touchdown of the night. Way back in our second quarter, that's a gain of 5 on first down. How would you evaluate Chase Garbers in his first career start, replacing Ross Bowers from a week ago?
Well, Justin Wilcox, he said to Mark Morgan as he was running off the field the first half, he thought he did good. He thought his legs helped their offense in the first half. I think, yes, that's true. He kept plays alive, Roy, a couple times, and I think that's what you have to do. I think the young quarterback has to keep his eyes down the field and make plays.
First big play of our second half. It's 3rd and 2 for Cal.
They only converted 1 in the first half.
Empty backfield for Garbers. Has time. First down. And his weapons out of the backfield have been impressive tonight as Patrick Laird gains 3. The drive continues. St. Anderson brought him down.
Yeah, late. I was going to say, Laird didn't get it by much, but he knew exactly where the sticks were. Ran just a little inside delay route. Let the 3 receivers clear out of the way.
Laird with 5 catches tonight. There's Wharton near side as he steps out. And close to the 40. That's a pickup of 6 yards. Vic Wharton the 3rd. Leading receiver from last year as Brandon McElwain checks back in. And this is interesting how these quarterbacks have been in this carousel. McElwain will come in for a play, then step out. Crosses the 40. It'll be 3rd and a yard.
Yeah, he runs that inside zone, and you know, again, it's tough running. Tough way to make hay on that interior of that BYU defensive line. They've been tough. They've been stout. Big 4 playing well.
McElwain at quarterback again. And the Bears pick up another 3rd down. A physical run close to midfield for Brandon McElwain. So the spark off the bench, a gain of 7. And Cal with 2 3rd down conversions already in this half.
Boy, and Roy, there is some hitting going on down there. BYU, they know it's coming with McElwain in. He did throw a pass in the first half, but that's some serious hitting by the BYU defense.
McElwain, the transfer from South Carolina, as Garbers now operates out of the shotgun. Bears with a 7-3 lead after defeating North Carolina at home last week. And here's a bust. Noah's wide open. Touchdown Bears. Gowolaku was in coverage. Noah snuck behind him, and that was it.
Kanawai Noah, yeah, just got free down the sideline, and credit Garbers for spotting him, because he ended up finding him racing along the BYU sideline, ran a little wheel route, and the DB just got caught looking inside. Gowolaku, the free safety who came up to cover Noah. This point after's good. He just got caught looking inside.
14-3 the score, nearly 3 minutes into the 3rd, and a statement drive by Cal in its first possession, Tom.
Well, you know, Cal didn't run a lot of plays in the first half, but right there I'd say that Bo Baldwin designed one to get up the sideline, and I'm a big fan of the wheel route. I think Noah did a nice job selling it that time, not getting too anxious, and ran a patient route, and Garbers just delivered a strike.
Kanawai Noah was a weapon last season for Ross Bowers, and Garbers now starting to feel a little momentum on his side, making his first career start. Tommy threw for over 8,000 yards in his high school career, 47-7 overall, so he was a winner, redshirted a season ago, and now with that extra pep in his step on the ground, he's finding some accuracy down the field.
Yeah, coming out of high school, he was an Elite 11 quarterback, not a finalist, but a regional finalist, and you know, he has great skills. Marcus Tuiasosopo before the game saying, you know, he's going to give them a good chance to win a lot of games.
Back of the end zone as Hifa will watch it sail through. And now an important possession for BYU. Now the good news is for Cougars fans, it was a week ago. 3 touchdowns went on the board in that victory at Arizona. Squally Canada went off against the Wildcats. And Tanner Mangum very impressive as well in a 21-0 scoring outburst.
Well, seemingly they made a lot of adjustments last week at halftime. And well, let's see if they make them now, because I think, you know, at the end of the first half, they misfired a few times. And just putting 3 points on the board is not gonna get you a lot of W's.
Micah Simon, jet sweep across the 30, driven down from behind. Evan Weaver, another tackle, but a gain of 8 in the process.
Yeah, and both teams, you know, really looking to rebound. I think last year disappointed, right? Cal 5-7, And of course, BYU is 4-9, a ton of injuries on both sides. But, you know, head coaches, they don't, you know, last year's in the rearview mirror, right? They don't even want to really talk about it. We have to bring it up because it's the second week of the season. But Kalani Sitake's like, hey, let's focus on the now.
Mangum thinking about running it. Tosses it downfield. Holker, the intended receiver. Check that, El Bakri, the fullback. He's covered by Alex Funches.
Yeah, Funches down the field in coverage. Usually he's a rush end. Though going out, covering the fullback.
But Tom, you like the idea of third, you know, second down and short, you try to take a shot for a big play to try to spark this offense.
Yep. I do like that. Although El Bakri's really not the guy you want in the pattern. No disrespect. He's a much better blocker than a pass catcher.
Canada tackled in the backfield. He'll lose two. And the Cal defense stands tall again. Tevin Paul making the start with the tackle for loss, and BYU now 4 of 11 on third down tonight.
Nice play by Tevin Paul, Lake Travis High School. The redshirt sophomore comes off that defensive end position and just catches Canada for a loss in the backfield. And, you know, just, again, heads up third down play by the Cal Bears.
Wharton back deep to receive this Rhett Allman punt. Sent from the 19. Wharton calls for the fair catch. Less drama in that sequence after a punt of 43. 10:44 remaining here in our third quarter. Back in Provo, 14-3 our score, as you see Cal offensive play caller Bo Baldwin, a couple of home runs and 5 punts tonight for the Bears offense. He's looking at that play card. Something he told us he did not want to do a lot tonight. He wanted to call the plays based on feel. He felt like he took his foot off the gas last week against North Carolina. They jumped out, Tom, to that 21-point lead. And he said, you know what, if I'm looking at the field and I'm calling plays without referencing that play card, we're going to call a better game. We're going to score more points.
Yeah. And he's been a head coach, Eastern Washington, and then the offensive coordinator last 2 years at Cal.
Ball comes out. Derek Clark lost the handle, and this may be the spark BYU needed. Touchdown Cougars. Gawolaku scooped it up.
Is a fumble recovered by the defense. Touchdown.
That's a 36-yard return. Clark, on one of his first touches of this season, lost the handle, Tom.
Yeah, Clark had one carry a week ago against North Carolina. He gets pasted here. He gets rocked. And I mean, the ball comes out. Gawoloku just, it's a scoop and score.
Butch Pawu got there, laid
Pawu.
the lumber. And BYU right back in it. 14-10, just like that.
Well, Butch Pau's played a lot of downs. He caught Derek Clark spinning, and he decided to put an end to the spin. He said, no more.
And 14-10 our score as Ross Bowers, last year's starter. He also started week 1 conversing with Derek Clark. Really just his second touch of the year. He fumbles. Gawoloku takes it to the house from 32 out. It's a new ball game. Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott, Mark Morgan on a whiteout night here at Lavelle Edwards Stadium.
Some people might say a good offense is a good defense.
Davis, the track standout. Decent return up to the 26. And now Cal with pressure on its shoulders, especially first-year starter Chase Garbers at quarterback.
Yeah, puts one more ounce of pressure on him getting his first start. Doesn't make it any easier, that's for sure. You know, and I've been preaching, hey, run the ball more. So they run the ball. They give Patrick Laird a breather for once. He's back on the field now, but Derek Clark fumbles it away, and BYU scores a quick 6 on the scoop and score.
Duncan in motion. He'll swing it out his direction. And a nice play on first down, a late flag after a gain of 11. And we'll check the penalty.
17.
And Vic Wharton likely costing Cal a first down.
Holding. Offense, number 17. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
And the fifth-year senior cost the Bears a nice play. Penalty number 6 against Cal tonight. Just grabbed Zane Anderson for maybe a second too long there.
Yep. Got locked up on the man right in front of the line judge. Flag comes right out.
Laird splits out. Empty backfield for Cal. And here's Garbers with time. Floats it. Incomplete, looking for Ian Bunting, the tight end. Grad transfer from Michigan, and a flag far side near the 20.
Offside. Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Bracken El-Bakri. A lot of penalties tonight. You kind of would expect this more in a week 1 contest.
Yeah, I saw El-Bakri move. I didn't think he broke the plane, but now the far judge on the far side of the field. A good look at it.
4th penalty against the Cougars. Back to 1st and 10. Garbers at RPO. Swings it out to Noah. Collides across the 30 with Austin Lee for a gain of 4.
Yeah, nice read that time by Garbers, getting the ball out to Noah. And again, that RPO is something he is experienced with. He can run it well. And McElwain now back in at quarterback on a 2nd and 5.
RPO run pass option. Cal wants to do more of that this season. McElwain straight ahead. He'll gain 3. It'll bring up 3rd and short. Both of these teams plodding along here in our second half in a 4-point game. Both teams undefeated. Trying to make their mark after disappointing 2017 seasons. Garbers back in. McElwain out.
And Cal 2 for 2 on 3rd down so far in the second half. I just think these are so crucial, Roy. These 3rd downs where they're shifting personnel in and out. BYU counters. They bring in different personnel group as well.
Crowd comes alive. Garbers. Noah. Needs another yard. Did he get there? Needed to get to the 36.
And he got to the nose of the 36.
And they're going to give him the first down.
Thought the ball was just a shade late. Went to the far sideline, and you know, a guy like Noah, you want to get the ball in his hands quickly. Let him go get in the open field with guys, and they had a chance to track him down that time, but still a great play by Noah, getting ahead and just getting enough of that first down.
Halfway through the 3rd quarter. And jet sweep action again. Jeremiah Hawkins stays alive. Into BYU territory. A late penalty flag once again. Troy Warner finally forced him out of bounds after a gain of 16.
Yeah, Hawkins, pretty shifty guy out of Buena Park. Not a big guy.
Holding. Offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay. First down.
Now Ray Hudson, the 5th-year senior tight end, missed last year with an injury. Now back for his 6th year of eligibility.
Hudson at the top of your screen and just gets his hands on the defender, and then he pretty much tackles him. That flag's always coming out.
4-man front for BYU. Empty backfield for Cal. Garbers. Well, he stood tall in the pocket. The pass was batted down. Kafusi was getting in there. Pick your poison with that massive defensive front.
Yeah, big fellows there pushing the pocket.
Fauatea.
Yeah, Fauatea. I was looking for 55 too. He's a third string nose tackle on my board.
Here's McElwain. He'll throw it this time. On 2nd and long, he'll pick up 5, maybe 6.
You know, again, changing up quarterbacks in the middle of drives, I'm not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan. I think if you have a series where you run the ball and you run some zone read with a guy, but you're asking him to throw the ball and throw it to the wide side of the field, you don't give your starter a good opportunity, because now you have 3rd and 8. Now you have a long yardage situation, and they can start teeing off with the pass rush.
Garbers went through his options, tripped up. Did he get there? He did. 1st down, Cal.
Or you could make a great play, extend the play, scramble, and lunge for the 1st down. Nice play by Garbers.
It hasn't been pretty at times tonight, but Garbers, you can tell, is gaining confidence. That's a big play and a huge conversion for the Bears.
Yeah, heady play again. BYU rushing 4. They got a good push on the pocket, but then Garbers just escapes the rush.
Going deep here, and a penalty flag comes out, looking for Jordan Duncan. And that's going to be pass interference.
Yeah, D'Angelo Mandel is the defensive back
pass
flag.
Interference. Defense. Number 36. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
You know, talking to the Cal coaching staff this week, I think the one area they felt they may have an advantage offensively, working against this BYU secondary. Well, Garbers has taken chances tonight. He's come up gold sometimes.
Yeah, and Roy, right then, if Mandel gets his head around, the flag doesn't come out. He doesn't play the ball, and that's what Mandel, all he has to do is turn the ball, turn his head, look up at the ball.
Picked off, trying to spot Laird, and it's intercepted. Kafusi, Isaiah Kafusi, from his outside linebacker spot, read Garbers' eyes perfectly.
You don't want to tangle with the Kafusi brothers. You got Corbin rushing the passer from his defensive end position. And then you have the sophomore, Isaiah Kafusi. Just, boy, that's a nice play right there. Just cutting in front, making a play on the ball. That's keeping your eyes on the ball.
2 sets of Kafusi brothers on the BYU roster. Corbin and Devin. Isaiah getting the job done there. And BYU back in business now, forcing 2 third-quarter turnovers. The first career interception for Isaiah Kafusi. And here we go.
Well, the defense has been the supercharger for BYU in the second half here. Let's see if they can convert this and get some points out of it.
You like to take a shot after the big turnover?
Not on this side of the 50. I'd like to be on the plus side. I would get the ball to number 15 though.
Lavahifo has been held in check tonight. He'll fake the jet sweep, hand off to Canada. Squally Canada's been bottled up for most of the evening as well, and he is once again here. Ashton Davis with the hit from his free safety position.
Yeah, and who's at the bottom of the pile? Evan Weaver.
Of course.
Yeah.
Boy, what a weapon he is. Mark Morgan, Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott here in Provo, Utah. Pair of undefeated teams in week 2 tonight. meeting for the first time in 3 seasons. Mangum flips it out. 4th catch of the evening by Laulu Pututau. And that one lucky to gain a yard. Ganashik, another stop. He's in double-digit tackles already this evening as well.
Yeah, tough 3rd down here for BYU facing Tanner Mangum. And whereas BYU, 4 of 11 on 3rd downs. You know, this becomes crucial, Roy. We were talking about their offensive production at the half, and you know, every drive becomes important. They just haven't had good continuity and good momentum on the offensive side of the ball tonight.
Especially on 3rd down. Mangum's 0 for 4. Has some time. They'll set up the screen. Holker, the tight end, and well short of the line he needed to get to. Evan Weaver, the one-man wrecking crew for the Bears.
Well, unable to capitalize there on a nice play by Kafusi, and you know, they just, I'm sure they'd like to have that series back. But here's where special teams comes into play. If you can pin Cal down deep, let that defense come out with some more momentum. That's who's giving you the shot in the arm this second half. And you know, Cal have made a couple mistakes the last 2 drives, and they just, BYU hopes maybe they gain better field position that way.
Wharton awaiting this Allman punt. And from the 15, Cal's next possession will begin after the 37-yard punt by Red Allman. 14-10, less than 4 to go here in the 3rd. Back in Provo, 3:39 remaining in our 3rd quarter. Kalani Sitake, Justin Wilcox looking on. And the big story, the 2 turnovers forced by this BYU defense. The first one, Butch Pawu laying the wood, and then Dine Gawolaku taking it to the house, the scoop and score. First touchdown here in week 2 for the Cougars. And then moments later, the interception by Isaiah Kafusi. His brother Jackson Kafusi looking on, special teams ace. And the Cougars hanging tough. The Pac-12 Cal Bears. Back to live action, Patrick Laird around the left side for a short pickup, tackled by Michael Shelton. Now, don't forget, our annual Week 1 Monday Night Football doubleheader returns in less than 48 hours. Lions hosting the Jets in the Motor City, 7:10 Eastern, followed by Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, and the Rams. They are back in Oakland this time to take on John Gruden in his debut with the new look Oakland Raiders minus Khalil Mack. Both games also on ESPN2 with a Spanish simulcast.
Yeah, how about Todd Gurley? Get a good look at him. He had a nice preseason. He didn't play.
Noah on the quick toss, and of course Jared Goff, a former Cal Bear.
That's right.
1st round draft pick, as Zane Anderson makes the stop after a 6-yard gain.
That's right. The only player to play with Jared Goff is the center, Addison Ohms, number 57. He's the old guard. He's the throwback guy of that offensive line of the Bears. A lot of alumni playing or coaching in the NFL.
McElwain back in, 3rd and 1. Swing pass, Noah, 1st down Cal. They set you up for the quarterback run game, and then McElwain with his 2nd completion gets the 1st down.
And what did he do? He got the ball quickly to Noah that time. No hesitation. Spin that guy the ball. Get it in the hands of number 9. He's one of your fastest players. And he has been very productive. You mentioned it earlier, Roy. He had over 750 yards a year ago receiving the ball, so he can do things with it when it's in his hands.
McElwain, quick toss, Noah, another 1st down as he crosses the 40-yard line in a gain of 12. And McElwain, tell you what, Tom, just thinking out loud for a second, the deeper we go into the Pac-12 season for these Bears, he's going to become a bigger factor. He looks pretty smooth.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, Noah is a good perimeter player.
And there he goes again. McElwain off to the races. Into BYU territory and brought down at the 40 by Zane Anderson, but he picked up 19 in the process.
That's really good running that time by Brandon McElwain. He sees the hole and he hits it 100 miles an hour.
Running tempo, a quick flag on the field. Reggie Smith and this Big 12 crew have been busy.
Full start. offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
McElwain gave a little momentum that time, and he's staying on the field. Garbers went out to replace him, and then Garbers headed back to the sideline.
McElwain, the leading rusher tonight for the Bears, with 46 rush yards. Less than a minute to go in our third quarter in Provo. They'll run him again. It's like they're playing a video game in this third quarter. You keep pressing the same X button, you call that same play. And BYU trying to slow down this Bears offense all of a sudden.
Garbers back in now. Let's say he's running the conventional offense.
If you say so.
I don't know what conventional is anymore these days, partner.
Could be the final play of the third. Looking deep. Duncan, did he get a foot in bounds? He did. Cal in the red zone, and a circus reception by Jordan Duncan, a gain of 26.
The ruling on the field is the receiver had his right foot down in bounds. It's a catch, first down.
I'm guessing this one might be reviewed. It's a spectacular catch. He tiptoes in there. That's good.
Bears running tempo, no review.
No review.
As Wharton corrals that football inside the 20.
This is the end of the third quarter.
45 minutes in the books, 15 remaining in a 14-10 contest. Cal with the lead on the road, trying to end a 5-game losing streak away from Berkeley, and so far, so good for the boys from Berkeley. Start of our fourth quarter, Lavelle Edwards Stadium is rocking with the Cougars trailing Cal 14-10. Mark Morgan, Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott. Beautiful night for college football. Ninth play of the drive for Cal. McElwain at quarterback. Late toss to Laird. And that'll move the sticks. He was awfully close to crossing the line of scrimmage. No flag. First and goal for Cal.
Great feel for where he was on the field, and an even better feel, Roy, on the snap of the ball. BYU with an all-out blitz, and he was able to get out, avoid it, and then flip the ball to Laird. That was a mighty fine play.
First trip in the red zone tonight for California. McElwain will call his own number again. Makes a move. McElwain upended short of the 1-yard line. Second and goal.
Zane Anderson with another tackle there. He's creeping in. Both he and Taki really kind of starting to play off the edge now, and they're looking for that quarterback run.
Cougars want this to stay a one-possession game. Laird again in the backfield with one touchdown tonight. McElwain pulls it, crosses the goal line for the touchdown.
Well, they like to ride the hot hand. Brandon McElwain, the leading rusher for the Cal Bears, getting over from 2 yards out, and you know that's tough running. I'll tell you though, great ball fake to Patrick Laird on the inside zone. McElwain able to control it as he breaks the plane of the goal line, and the Bears get over for the yet another score.
Cal on the road, extending its lead. 21-10, 13:42 remaining. And how about 85 yards in 11 plays? And McElwain starting to assert himself as a leader and a playmaker for the Golden Bears. The South Carolina transfer reaching pay dirt, and the lead extends to 11.
And the Cal Bears take the lead by 11, 21-10. Brandon McElwain with a great ball fake that time to Patrick Laird. Over from 2 yards out. Puts the Bears up by 11.
Now you think about the Pac-12. You're going to try to make some headway in that league this year. And if you have a mobile quarterback, it's another weapon. They've got a strong offensive line. They've got some backs, some receivers. You add that spark with athleticism under center like Brandon McElwain, you may be in business.
Yeah, you know, Roy, it's really more of a personnel matchup when I look at it. You know, a lot of teams in the Pac-12 play 11 personnel, 1 back, 1 tight end, 3 wides. And so the quarterback, when he becomes a runner, he becomes a real challenge for the defense to account for. And Brandon McElwain has definitely been a shot in the arm for them in this game, and especially here in the second half.
And now a challenge for Tanner Mangum on his 25th birthday. The senior rolls out after the play action fake, and that one bottled up. Laulu Pututau, the intended receiver, he was covered nicely out there in the flats, and Evan Weaver.
Intentional grounding. Number 17 was in the vicinity at second down.
Big number 89 applying the pressure once again, Tom Ramsey.
Boy, Evan Weaver really has had a spectacular several weeks, but Peter Sermon before the game just said, you know, he has been such a joy to coach. And really, you know, when you're seeing it well and you're able to read the guards from that interior linebacker position and make plays, that's a huge bonus for the defense.
Collie on the jet sweep with a running lane. He was hammered. Ashton Davis. Boy, he's not a track guy, and that was told to us multiple times yesterday by Tim DeRuyter, the defensive play caller for the Bears. He's a football guy that runs track.
Yeah, just a huge hit. Just a huge hit.
And on 3rd and short, that play bottled up by the Bears defense. 3 and out for BYU.
Cal Bears defense has had the answer on the up-tempo, no huddle, go for it quickly on 3rd down. They have just thwarted BYU several times tonight. Evan Weaver's like, hey, here we go again.
Davis, the big hit. And a big play on that possession for Cal. Ward lost the handle, and Cal gives it right back. Gawolaku, another big play for BYU.
A recovery by the kicking team. First down.
And the 3rd turnover of the half for the Cal Bears.
Boy, and it couldn't have come at a better time. It became Sleepyville here just a moment ago. The BYU fans got so quiet, and then Wharton fumbles. Gawolaku making his 2nd huge play of the night, one on defense, this one on special teams, and so far that's what's kept BYU sticking around.
Bears had a 24-3 lead at home against North Carolina last week, nearly gave it up. It's an 11-point advantage now. BYU threatening, starting this possession in the red zone. Mangum with time. Canada inside the 10. Upended by Josh Drayden.
Well, Mangum did a good job looking downfield, and then Canada was his late release and did a nice job. He was blocking a linebacker, then came off late, knowing he's the guy that's going to get the ball. So Mangum there doing a nice job holding it as long as he could. But again, Cal doing a nice job downfield covering the receivers.
Well, using that almost sugar huddle with a quick approach to the line. After a gain of 6. Canada dragged down from behind. Tevin Paul. And that's a loss of 2.
Tim DeRuyter has had some really good calls tonight, the defensive coordinator for Cal, because coming into this game, when BYU went heavy package, 2 tight ends or more, they brought in 4 defensive linemen. Tevin Paul got the call tonight against BYU, and he has come up big for the Bears.
Third and 6. Still plenty of time. Approaching 11 to play. Mangum, Pifo, Loses ground, flag on the field. The Bears defense stands tall again. We'll check the penalty. Well, Hifo just trying to get outside to gain a couple of extra yards. Couldn't get there. Travion Beck, Jalen Hawkins corralled him finally, Tom. See what this penalty's all about.
Pass interference. Offense, number 17. The pass was caught beyond the line of scrimmage. It's a 15-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
Laulu Pututau.
Boy, so the ball was beyond the line of scrimmage. Laulu Pututau was the one flagged, the tight end.
Did he try to pick him?
Well, probably so. I'm sure he's there, attached tight end. And sure enough, he blocks or screens the man that was supposed to go with Hifo.
So in that sequence, if Hifo catches the football behind the line of scrimmage, at that point, it's not a penalty for the pick. He was in front of the line of scrimmage, and that's illegal.
That's illegal. Yep.
3rd and 21. A field goal does make this a one-possession game. On the bootleg, pressure, dangerous pass, and it's picked off. Oh, Mangum wants that one back, returned all the way up to the 40-yard line. Travion Beck, after the pressure by Kanashik.
Well, Cal knew exactly what BYU was going to do there. They ran dash, they tried to pin the defensive end, and Kanashik spots it right away. He's the unblocked defender, creates the bad pass, interception, Bears.
10:37 remaining, 21-10 as Cal's defense stands tall. And there you see Gerald Alexander, the defensive backs coach. Travion Beck, his first career pick moments ago. And a big play for this Bears D. Forced 4 turnovers last week and getting the job done so far tonight on the road, no less.
Yeah, that was a big series because Wharton had dropped the punt and gave the ball to BYU in great field position. So that turnover becomes a drive stopper.
With Tom Ramsey, Mark Morgan, Roy Philpott, McElwain back in at quarterback for the Bears. As we check in again with Mark Morgan. Mark.
Well, moments ago, you mentioned Gerald Alexander, the defensive backs coach for Cal. He's very involved in the recruiting process, and his Twitter account proves it. He's tweeted over 103,000 times since 2010. Now, I'm not a math guy, but I tried some math in this case anyway. That's 12,800 tweets a year, about 1,000 a month. 30-plus tweets a day. Now, obviously, with his busy schedule as on the Cal's coaching staff, Alexander never very far from his phone.
That's a lot of tweeting as Lair crosses the 40. It'll bring up 3rd down. Tackled by Gawalaku.
Mark, those numbers are almost Philpott-esque. I mean, that's a lot of social media.
We do a lot of videos. I don't know that we are bulk tweeting at that level, at least yet. Big play here for the Cougars defense. Garbers with all day. Flushed. Thinking about running. Tucks it. And close to another first down. Late flag on the field. The Bears just one conversion on 3rd down in the first half. This would be number 6 if this moves the chains in the second.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the flag, but Garbers sure has a nose for the sticks. I will say that. He knew exactly where he needed to get to.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, defense number 5. 15 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
Dine Gawalaku has recovered 2 fumbles, scored a touchdown. Too late here, Tom.
Yeah, you got to stay off. Player safety is, again, one of the most important elements of. I don't even know if he touched it on the angle I saw. I don't know if he hit him. Chris Wilcox made the tackle, brought him down. Goolaku, I thought, laid off him.
McElwain back in at quarterback. He's got 56 yards rushing tonight. Cal quarterbacks have combined to rush for 111 yards. McElwain wants to throw it, rifles a shot, and that's a strike for another first down. Austin Lee in coverage. What a grab by Noah. Gain of 11.
Conover Noah has come up big in the second half. He's made some plays, made some tough catches. That's a tough one coming over the middle. He got drilled, but boy, that is it's a big throw, big catch.
McElwain has been known to have a cannon of an arm playing as an outfielder.
Yeah, that was Noah's 7th catch tonight, 93 yards plus a score.
Has McElwain impressed you yet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Across the 25, a quality pickup on first down.
Here's what's hard, Roy, is getting rhythm as any player, but a quarterback, you want to stay on the field. If you're in the middle of a drive and as Garbers comes back onto the field, I understand situational football well, and I understand when you want to, okay, hey, we're going to run some zone read inside, where, you know, or maybe it's a +20 package. Bo Baldwin's put him in at all parts of the field, minus territory, midfield, plus territory, and I think that's hard. But you know, if you practice it and everyone knows their role, then it can be done.
Low snap for Garbers, play action into the flats, and a short pickup, gain of 2. Malik McMorris, his first catch of the night, is second on the season. Malik McMorris, 5'11", 295 pounds of him.
Yeah, Zane Anderson with his 10th tackle of the night. Another third down for Cal. Cal 7 of 12 tonight on third down.
3rd and 3. McElwain, zone read, keeps it. He'll get across the 20. 2 yards short of a first down. Tonga the stop.
He's a talented guy. He runs that zone read well. I mean, he leaves the ball in the running back's pocket for a long time.
You like the call to go for it here?
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to put it away. Why not?
Bears 1 for 1 on 4th down tonight. McElwain remains in. Crowd on its feet. He'll fake the run. McElwain looking deep, fires it out of bounds. And BYU remains alive for the moment with 5:55 remaining. Mandel in coverage.
I like going for it on 4th down. I didn't like the play call. When you scramble right, you condense the field. McElwain throwing the ball out of bounds, but the Bears have the lead.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And in part by Corona Premier. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations.
Dangerous pass thrown by Tanner Mangum, and it's picked off again. Jalen Hawkins, his 3rd in less than 2 games.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
Tom, this Cal defense now has turned over the opposition 6 times through the air. And there is an injured player. It's Alex Funches way back at the 11-yard line. Mangum just took a shot and came up well short, looking for Akile Davis.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct by the intercepting team, number 6, for striking the post. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the dead ball spot. First down, Cal.
not sure exactly what pose he struck. I didn't see what Jalen Hawkins did. I do know this, Roy. Tanner Mangum really committed a cardinal sin of
That is number 6, first unsportsmanlike foul of the game.
Thank you, Reggie Smith. Throwing down the middle late. It's just a recipe for disaster. I know he's trying to make something happen. Jalen Hawkins, really a good-looking defensive back for the Cal Bears, making a great play. Kind of did the hands on the hip thing. Kind of, you know.
I'm doing that here in the booth. You going to penalize me?
Yes, that's kind of MTV-ish. I don't like it.
The Bears take over.
I like Hawkins though. I do like, even though he posed, I do like how he plays.
What a night it has been for the Bears defense. Laird caught a touchdown in the first half, has been held in check since. And don't forget about the U.S. Open Championship, concluding tomorrow, the men's championship match, 4 Eastern. Tom Ramsey, Del Potro, and Novak Djokovic. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Also on the ESPN app if you're on the go. And a lot of controversy in the Empire State over the course of this weekend with Serena Williams. You'll find out more about that on SportsCenter coming up later tonight. And we'll see if the Joker can come up with another title, the U.S. Open. He's been a runner-up a couple of times as well.
I'll be watching Fowler and Brad Gilbert, Johnny Mack. That's a good show now, and that's a great final. Delpo and the Joker. Oh, man.
Run pass option as Garbers spots Noah for a gain of 6.
Yeah, you watch that Del Potro match tomorrow, you tell me.
Is he healthy?
Oh, yeah, he's healthy. Yeah.
Game on.
Except for the guy he's playing against is really healthy and really good.
Cougars need a stop here defensively in the worst way to try to hang around and attempt some sort of comeback. Bears 7 of 13 on 3rd down. Garbers. Wharton corrals it, but 1 yard short. We'll see if Justin Wilcox wants to roll the dice. Punt team appears to be coming on the field on 4th and 1.
Yep, they were close to the sticks and just not enough. Wharton just didn't get enough for that first down. The ball did come out of Garbers' hands pretty quick.
His career catch number 102 for Vic Wharton III. Cal with this 11-point lead, under 4 to go, and BYU will have one more chance. Boy, it's been one of those grinded out, slugfest kind of games here out west. Late on a Saturday night. Punt of 45 yards. BYU takes over. 3:38 to go. We take a look now at this week's college football top 10 rankings, brought to you by Chick-fil-A, the Associated Press. Tom, everybody won. Clemson held on for dear life in College Station. Georgia and Bama rolled as expected. Notre Dame perhaps a little closer than we thought against Ball State, as BYU takes over 1st and 10, trailing by 11. Less than 4 to go here in Provo. And the quick screen to Canada is dropped. Your overall thoughts on another exciting weekend of college football?
Well, yeah, I mean, the top 10 teams, they're not playing the strongest teams right now. But a game that I really liked was a team that we had last week, Duke. Duke going to Northwestern and winning 21-7. I thought that was pretty impressive. The other really impressive win, I thought, was Colorado winning against Scott Frost and those Nebraska Cornhuskers. I mean, Steven Montez really made a play of a game, throwing a touchdown in the last minute. That was impressive. And, of course, yeah, Clemson hanging on at College Station. That's big.
Micah Simon picks up the first down, and they're going to tack 15 more yards on with a personal foul. This Cal defense has yet to give up a touchdown tonight. Only score for BYU on the scoop and score by Gawolaku in the middle of the 3rd quarter. So this defense for Cal has been salty.
The defender stumbled and held up the ball carrier. First down.
It's great when they pick up the laundry. No flag.
The clock will start on my ready for play.
One more look.
And Roy, what's important here, you need these big chunks, right? You need chunk yardage here. Simon, when he goes out of bounds, now he trips right into Gerald Alexander. The coach caught it.
A sidearm delivery by Mangum for a short pickup as Katoa will gain a couple. Hit by Hicks.
And we watched practice Thursday. One of the things BYU didn't work a lot on while watching practice, they don't work a lot of 2-minute drills. So you get into these situations where you really want to kind of have different combinations of plays. You want to hurry up at the line of scrimmage, get multiple plays called without huddling, get big chunks of yardage. They just don't practice it, at least not when I saw it.
Lonnie Sitake, not the performance he expected tonight. You wonder too, BYU fans watching this evening and also seeing Arizona get destroyed by Houston on the road earlier today. All of a sudden it takes the luster off that road win last week in Tucson. Impressive at the time. What is Kevin Sumlin and the Wildcats this year? Backside pressure and down goes Mangum. Zionde Johnson, his first sack of the night. And now BYU faced with 4th and long. Cougars got to go for it.
Well, Zionde Johnson just kept the motor running from the interior defensive line position. He just keeps working. Sure enough, Mangum's still holding the ball and he drills him.
BYU needs 9 to keep the drive alive. Mangum buys some time, flings it, and it's caught. Stepping out of bounds to stop the clock, Olu Pututau. And he's had himself quite a performance. That's his 5th reception and a gain of 25.
Again, Mangum with a nice throw to the crosser that time. And, you know, that's a big chunk. 2-11 and counting. You really have to take a shot here at the end zone soon.
Cougars do have all 3 timeouts remaining. Mangum sails that one high and out of bounds. Bynum with the ample coverage against Pulsifer.
Yeah, he's trying to push the ball down the field. You know, being that it's a 2-score game, Roy, you know, what do you do first, right? Do you settle? Do you go for it here on 4th down if you have the chance to? I don't know if you kick that long of a field goal. It's going to be a tough decision here.
Field goal and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion would tie it up. Mangum flush. Cal's defensive front has set up shop in this backfield for most of the night.
Of the pocket. 3rd down.
And I know what you can't do, and Mangum knows you can't take a sack because that's really going to set you back. But this is a tough 3rd down facing BYU. And you know, Cal's had the answers defensively. They're getting a good pass rush with 4 guys right now, and they're dropping 7 in coverage.
3rd down. Mangum fires his strike. Pulsifer has it. That'll move the chains. Bynum in coverage, wrestled him down to the ground after a gain of 12.
Nice throw, nice catch. Pulsifer did a nice job protecting the football away from the defender. And
Boy, Tom, you can feel it up here. Mangum just trying to find that rhythm that he had his freshman season. He's come close at times tonight, but hasn't found the consistency as Simon drops another one. Coverage by Drayden helped rip that football loose.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to have guys got to make plays, right? Simon has to catch the ball when the ball's thrown to him, and there he's had several drops tonight, and they'll go back and look at the film and say, wow, you know, we had some chances. You know, we didn't strike enough with the big plays, and it's so hard to manufacture explosive plays. That's a tough one. Every coach wants looking for them, but guys have to execute. It takes 11 of them.
Mangum. Pass is caught by Dylan Colley. A short gain. A reminder, college football final coming up as soon as we're done here in Provo. Beck with the hit, and a player for California on the field in pain. And that'll stop the clock.
Officials
3rd and 5 coming up.
injured player.
It appears to be Travion Beck. recorded his first career interception earlier in this half, and Tanner Mangum looking for answers on his 25th birthday.
An injured defensive player, this by rule would require a 10-second runoff, which BYU declines. Therefore, the clock will start on the snap. 40 seconds on the play clock, please. Timeout on the field.
Timeout as we step aside. Now, don't forget about Sports Center tonight after Michigan State, Arizona State over on ESPN with Stan and Max, Clemson, SC, Stanford, all facing tough tests. A very memorable night and afternoon of college football. 1:45 a.m. Eastern, 10:45 Pacific on ESPN, the ESPN app. Plus, Kirk Herbstreit joins the show with his big winners and the standout performers from a big weekend in college football. Back in Provo, there is no 10-second runoff potentially because there's still more than a minute to go in this game, and BYU needs some points right now. Here's Mangum, flings it, end zone, caught. Ball comes out late. Collie had it, and they're going to rule him down inside the one. It'll be 1st and goal for the Cougars.
Tanner Mangum he does still have a little magic left in his back pocket.
The ruling on the field is a catch by BYU. The receiver is subsequently down by rule. The previous play is under further review.
When it's been that kind of night for this offense, one big play and then 2 steps back, that'll halt momentum for a few minutes.
Well, and Roy, a couple things here with getting down this far. I do believe they're not going to have enough of indisputable video evidence to overrule this. I think he does go down, his knee is on the ground, and then they rip the ball out as he's rolling over. So Collie makes the catch, but more importantly, after they score this, you got to go for 2 here, because then it's going to be an onside kick, a field goal to tie it.
Crazier things have happened, and BYU also still has its timeouts left.
But here's the good news. If there's good news about missing a 2-point conversion, then you just have to score, assuming you recovered the onside kick. So a lot of things in play here. I like it. The different looks that we have seen from our angle, and the team's been feeding us, it looks like a catch.
He completes the catch
down at the half-yard line.
You see at the end as he comes down on Josh Drayden. It's got to be indisputable video evidence. Did his knees touch before he rolled over number 20 in blue?
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. A catch. It's 1st and goal, BYU. The clock will start on my ready for play.
Cougars need a touchdown here.
Can't mess around. You cannot mess around. Push it in the end zone. I would imagine quarterback sneak would work fine from here.
Mangum under center. Power I formation. Play action. Mangum end zone. Touchdown. El Bakri reels it in, and BYU in business.
Heck of a call there. El Bakri slips into the flat, and Tanner Mangum delivers. Nice throw. On time, nice catch. So go for 2 here, and again, it's helpful if they have success and make the 2-point conversion.
It'll make it a field goal contest with an onside kick to come. Cougars have all 3 timeouts remaining.
Will the play clock operator please reset to 25 seconds?
And here's Mangum. Back to the end zone, wide open for the 2. Micah Simon corrals it. And don't go anywhere just yet. It's 21-18, onside kick coming your way.
I like Tanner Mangum doesn't give up. Turning 25 today. Makes a couple really fine throws. Leads his team down. And how about that? Simon caught the ball.
And Justin Wilcox has got to be thinking, here we go again. The game against North Carolina came down to a final onside kick sequence. And Mangum bought just enough time here.
He sure did. He kept his eyes up down the field. Nice throw.
Number 28 for Cal is changer to 43. Number 28 is now 43.
And, you know, just a nice play. Simon's running the back end zone line, and Mangum knows exactly where he's at. So now, Roy, as you said, a lot in play. They have to convert an onside kick and retain possession for them to even have a shot at getting the ball back. And they still have 2 timeouts. Actually, they have 3 timeouts. Because
Andrew Mickelson will step aside for Skylar Southam here for the onside attempt. And Tom, you're right, all 3 timeouts remaining for the Cougars.
Yeah.
Bears with their good hands team on the field.
Cal calls timeout because who do they see lined up on the...
California calls their first timeout of the half.
The kickoff team.
30 seconds.
They have Corbin Kafusi, all of 6'8" of him, 6'9" of him.
Well, remember, it was just a week ago where California blew the 24-3 lead. North Carolina comes back, makes it a touchdown game with about a minute to go. An onside kick initially was ruled recovered by the Tar Heels before it was overturned with a replay review. The receiver was never given a chance to catch or touch the football first. Now, Cal a bit fortunate last weekend and hoping to be just as fortunate here tonight.
I always feel like when a game comes down to an onside kick, I have watched a full game. That's what you want. Keep an eye on number 90 on the kickoff team in white. Corbin Kafusi, 6'9". He can go up and get it. Remember, he's a former basketball player.
Southam recovered easily by the Bears. And Jalen Hawkins sandwiched the football as quickly as he could between his 2 hands, and that'll just about do it. But Cougs do have those 3 timeouts. They'll try to make it interesting here. Cal needs 1 first down.
Yeah, the ball never came up. The short hop never happened. Went right to Hawkins. Hawkins did the right thing, get on the ground, gained possession, and the ball to the referee.
McElwain on the field out of the shotgun.
Expect BYU to call a timeout as soon as they get him on the ground.
Off right tackle. Time is called. 46 seconds remaining.
BYU calls their first timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Now, don't forget, coming up next Saturday, the big matchup. We've got it over on ABC. TCU and Ohio State live from Arlington, 8 o'clock Eastern, and of course on the ESPN app. The Fighting Gary Pattersons, Sean Robinson at quarterback. They were tested in the first half last night against SMU, and of course Ohio State still without Urban Meyer for 1 more game, but the Buckeyes have been rolling through their first couple of contests.
Yeah, Rutgers kept it close today, didn't they? Yeah, pretty close. I don't think so. TCU, I'm telling you, Gary Patterson, he is one of the finest coaches, and he knows his defense. Man, they will be bringing corner blitz. They'll be doing stuff, stacking 9 in the box.
And McElwain, a very wise maneuver there, eats up a few more seconds. Cougars now with 1 timeout left.
Calls their second timeout of the half.
Yeah, McElwain
30 seconds.
McElwain with great vision that time, running patiently, setting up a block or 2.
And now mathematically it almost becomes impossible for BYU to get the football back. They can use this 1 timeout.
Yeah, it's really just burning the time off the clock. If you can even run around, and you really don't even have to get a first.
Well, you use the next timeout, your last one, and then on 4th down, the clock would stop the change of possession, so still a chance. McElwain buys some time and a first down, and that's going to do it.
Yep.
The Cal Bears on the road win #2 in season #2 for Justin Wilcox. And the defense led the charge tonight, Tom Ramsey.
Yeah, and Brandon McElwain, he sure had quite the second half. I mean, that's good running. I mean, he outruns.
BYU calls their 3rd and final timeout of the game. 30 seconds.
Oh, McElwain, I mean, he 5 of 7, 38 yards.
Please reset the game clock to 26 seconds. 26 seconds, please.
16 rushing attempts, 74 yards, a touchdown, along of 17. I mean, he became the Cal's leading rusher, and a little bit unexpected. We knew we'd see him. We didn't know we'd see him this much.
How about Cal? First 2 games.
Thank you.
2 wins, 1 on the road. Scored just 24 points last week. 7 of those came on a pick 6. 21 on the board tonight. And the defense has just kept them right there while these quarterbacks start to grow up. And Bo Baldwin called a nice game tonight. And he's got himself a couple of quarterbacks going into week 3. And they'll get Idaho State back in Berkeley next weekend before Oregon comes to town. And let's see what happens in the rough and rugged Pac-12 with these Cal Bears.
Well, and one of the things we did know coming in, Justin Wilcox has a really good staff. Tim DeRuyter, former head coach. Bo Baldwin, former head coach. A lot of NFL guys, Marcus Tuiasosopo, Peter Sermon. They got some guys, coaching guys, and that pays off. That pays dividends.
21-18, the final score. Kalani Sitake, Justin Wilcox meeting at midfield. And BYU fall to 1-1, losing its home opener this evening.
I think you said it. Cal on the road, it gives them confidence. And they have Idaho State next week, but then they go right into Pac-12 play with Oregon. So it's going to be interesting.
Bears are 2-0. And year 2 of the Justin Wilcox era off and running. Another fast start as the Bears win here in Provo. Big weekend of college football. We'll wrap it up on College Football Final coming up right now.